since you committed your life to Christ?
It's been almost 10 years, or a little over 9 years.
Bro, how was you living before you committed your life 10 years ago?
I was a dead man walking. I was a dead man walking. I lived for myself. I lived for my own pleasure. I lived for my own desires. Whatever I thought was good for me, I went after it. If you made me mad, I did what I felt like I needed to do. If I wanted it, I got it. Whatever the cost, whatever it took, I was a dead man walking, living for me.
Bro, what were some of the low points during that season of your life?
I think the lowest point for me was I got tired of looking for something, looking for joy and satisfaction in stuff and in things. I remember getting high, I remember getting drunk, I remember, you know what I'm saying, chasing women and thinking, like, when will this ever satisfy me? It's like I'm chasing it, but I never seem to get the satisfaction I'm looking for. I'm like a slave to this chase of money, women, pleasure, and it's never ending. And it drove me to a place that was so dark and hopeless and depressing that I felt like there was no hope.
So fam, in that place, right, where did the light come? How did it come? Like, where did it reach you? How did the Lord reach you where you was?
Like, people always said, go to Jesus, go to church, but I felt like that church was irrelevant to me. I felt like that it didn't make sense to me, and I was a different type of a person. And it wasn't until I saw some individuals who looked like me, who dressed like me, who talked like me, who I was like, they have to be going through what I'm going through. And when I saw them, I said, you know, how come they have joy? Why do they have peace? Why do they have hope? Like, how come they got the braids and the cornrows and the baggy jeans and the hats, but they don't do the stuff that I do, and they seem okay with that? And the reality was, these were Christian brothers. These were brothers who had hope and joy and satisfaction in Jesus. So no matter the trials that came, they lived in my neighborhood, they dealt with the same stuff I dealt with, but they had a peace that I didn't understand. And when I learned that it was Jesus that had saved them and changed their hearts, I wanted some of that.
Fam, didn't that confuse you? Because I know over here, right, certain people will look at you like a Jesus trainer, like, I'm a pastor. People don't want to take me serious. Because they're like, but you don't look like a pastor. You don't look like churchy. Yeah. And so when you saw them brothers, right, and they were in their Jesus hats and everything, and they were in your neighborhood, around your end, living the kind of, the environment that you were living in, but you heard it was Jesus, did that confuse you, or what did it do? Was it refreshing for you?
Well, first it was confusing. First I was like, hold on, y'all can't be Christian. Like, does God know about this? Y'all can't be believers, man, because I don't, like, Christians don't wear baggy jeans, Christians don't wear ball caps, but then it was refreshing because it meant, wait a minute, maybe I can be Christian. If you can be Christian, then maybe I can be a Christian, because I thought I had to be like this or like that, but now I'm seeing I can keep my flavor. I just need a heart change, and I can have the peace and the hope and the joy that y'all have as believers, and that was refreshing to me.
Bro, I know, like, from the music that there was an occasion when a minister called James White changed your life. The Lord used him like that. What was it that gripped you at that time? What was the message that you heard that really kind of, that Minister James White brought that really affected you?
Yeah, it was a picture of the price that Christ had paid. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us think of Jesus as some fairy with long flowing hair, kicking up lilies, skipping and singing songs. And he painted me a picture of a Jesus who was a man, like the men you see constantly, but at the same time he laid his life down, and he painted a picture of.
Oh, no, I'm thinking about that.
Yeah. Hey, yo, you men outside, yeah? Hold it down,
fam. Why are you gonna do that for? That's
yo, you men outside. Hey, yo, you men outside. I know you can hear me because the speaker's right there. You know that the shop's got hotline to the fence. So, fam, you know what? Right. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, y'all. Listen. Trust and believe. Just to believe, like, this is what's important. Understanding that God came as a man, was strung up on a cross. The meaty parts on his wrists and on the back of his legs were nailed with railroad spikes into a cross. And seeing this picture that the Bible said that you were bought with a price, and for glorify God in your bodies. Like, I didn't know my body was meant to glorify God, and that Jesus paid that price for my life. it pricked me to my heart to know that I had been living for me, living for sin, living for the desires of my flesh, living for whatever felt good, and never not one time thinking about trying to live for God. And realizing that Christ shed his blood for all my sin pricked me to the heart, and I fell to my knees saying, God, is there any way you can take a sinner like me, a jacked up person, despicable person like myself, and adopt him and cleanse him? And that's what happened to me.
Amen, man. So, bro, with that turning point in your life, where did things go? Was it like smooth, like plain sailing? It was you was running in the field, and it was just like.
Is that how it was? Exactly what happened. I just started skipping, and I could fly, and no, not at all. Man, I wish somebody would have told me. They didn't tell me that you still got to face problems even as a Christian. They didn't tell me that becoming a Christian doesn't just wipe away all the problems in this world. You know what I'm saying? They didn't tell me that becoming a Christian doesn't mean cats won't try to test you. They didn't tell me I was going to be hard times. So I didn't understand that, man, and I fell hard and I fell heavy back into some of the same stuff that I used to do because I didn't understand that I needed people to guide me, to mentor me, to disciple me. And on top of that, Jesus had to be my joy and my satisfaction. Like, he had to be my resting place. And that's what really kept me moving and kept me going.
Amen. So then, you've been a believer, you've been walking with the Lord for 10 years. At what point was the call for ministry apparent to you? Especially for those who are here and, sold out, desire to serve the Lord. What did that call come to you like, and how did you recognize it and respond to it?
Yeah, I think, man, I was, I always did music, I always rapped, but I would rap about emptiness. I would just rap about stuff, like, whatever was inside of me, and nothing was inside of me. And as I began to chew on the word, I found that I got a joy in proclaiming his excellencies on a microphone. Not just on the mic, but just in cypher. So I would go downtown to areas, and just like this, I would go out to the central, to the square, and I would just spit freestyles, and people would circle up, and as they would circle up, my crew would start sharing the gospel with people. And we found joy in using our gifts and our talents to promote Jesus, and we didn't want anything for it. We didn't want a CD deal. We didn't want money. We just wanted people to come to Jesus. So we were satisfied. And I started to find a joy in sharing my faith with other people. I would go volunteer at the prisons. I would go volunteer at the churches and just say, how can I be used? And I spent 2 years in the same juvenile detention center, a jail for juveniles, rapping about Jesus and seeing lives change. And that's when, people started to encourage me, like, man, you might want to think about putting this on a CD so others can benefit from the truth that you're spitting. And I ran it by a friend of yours, the ambassador, and from Cross Women, and he gave me some green lights, and I took the path.
Amen, amen. So, taking that path, just to kind of bring this little section to a conclusion, taking that path, bro, where has it led you? Where has the Lord led you on this adventure called